Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I am Ananda Rose, and hey, we're on a little bit earlier than 7 a.m. this morning. I'm just being told here that we are streaming live, or we're getting there, and I see that it's coming up. So I'm just going to, yeah, I'll probably hear myself talking in a minute, but okay, that's all good. Here we go. We're live. How are you, Kirsty?
I'm quite well. I was just saying it took me a while to wake up this morning, but I'm here. Um, yeah, put on some yellow to bring in some light. I was like, that's gonna wake me up. I'll wear some yellow.
It's very good because I've also got this pink, which I just thought, oh, it's a good bright color for the morning. I don't know, but this morning feels a different kind of quietness, right? Yeah, different kind of quietness this morning, even outside. And I went out and I looked up the sky and there was this bright planet out there, and I thought, oh, it's got to be Venus. But then I've forgotten Venus is actually now an evening star, not a morning star. She's gone through the underworld and she's now, you know, um, uh, yeah, what symbolizes the underworld, and she's now a morning star. I mean, an evening star. There I go, getting myself and everybody else confused. I hope not. Right, so it is 7 a.m. Shall we begin? Okay, I've lit my incense, and I'm just going to open first with some just a bit of a light language, maybe a chant or something like that. I don't know, whatever will come out. Do you want to do anything before? Do you want to say anything before we do that? Yeah. So just everybody coming in, as everyone's coming in, we're just going to go through and just go and just chant ourselves into our session today. Take a deep breath and keep your feet planted on the ground. Welcome, everybody. Being here in this moment, taking our breaths, bringing ourselves to stasis. A peaceful moment where we are grateful and just in the moment and appreciating our time here on this planet. Our time here, our purpose here, Atsika, Utra, Natsavarhaita. Ramachatutukuraha nagatetikariti to go to. Hiarokutoto, Hiratutufaranakai nakatutumaha. Armekatata, Armechutu, Armetiamaka. Yeah, all right, and I'll just do the samakete. Just clearing our space. I've got some incense going here, so if you see the smoke, I'm not smoking, but it's smoking. So, Kirsty, do we want to? We'll just go back and just remind everybody why we're here today, if that's okay. All right. So we started this off, and our first one was on the 21st of, I beg your pardon, on the 7th of July. We started on the 7th of the 7th. And today is, I do believe it's the last live event we're going to have. A live free event. We do have something that we'll talk about at the end, but nevertheless, this is the third one. We were commissioned to bring this in. Commissioned, contracted, guided, all of those things for us is one and the same at this point in time in context of this. And so, and here we are. We've done it. We were at the third one. We were bringing in light codes for anybody who identifies with being neurodivergent. I'm sorry about this. Just have to do this for the moment. Right, sorry about that. So yes, that's what our intention was. And so, Kirsty, I'm going to get you to, in the meantime, explain the neurodivergent concept for anybody who doesn't understand what we're meaning, that's joining us for the first time. Please.
Yeah. So of course, if you've been with us before, we've touched on this, but we're just recapping. And so the idea of neurodivergence is that in some way, your neurology, your way of thinking, your way of being, your way of processing information may be a little bit different from the norm, whatever that is. So of course, it's a very broad category in that sense, because what is normal, what is deviation from normal? And so within the idea of being neurodivergent, often you'll have people who either feel they identify with or have a diagnosis of being things like autistic, ADHD, dyslexic. So all these types of diagnoses and labels, but you don't need to have a diagnosis to be neurodivergent and in order to relate to this idea of feeling a little bit different, a little bit separate, not belonging, maybe like you're too much or not enough. Of course, to relate to that, you definitely don't need to either officially or unofficially be autistic or ADHD or any of these things. But we're reaching out to you if you do resonate with this concept, and perhaps you felt like a little bit of an alien or misunderstood, all of these types of things.
Yeah. So yes, I like how you explain that, because quite often, I mean, people would probably have all those symptoms but have no diagnosis of that. Being able to manage themselves and be normal in this time in life and space without being labeled anything, consciously or unconsciously, whatever that is for anyone. So yeah, I think that is, and I think also the thing is, one of the symptoms of being a star seed or a light worker is not fitting in on the planet, not feeling like you quite belong here. Now, some of us have had the feeling of that, but we don't necessarily have had, we weren't labeled because we behaved in a certain way that suddenly society thought this is not normal. This is not okay. It doesn't fit within the parameters of what we call normal, So I think it's for anyone really who resonates with it. But we thought about neurodivergent because it's been such a big change topic. Recently I was reminded, before we did this, there was an article on the front page of the newspaper one day here that said, the schools cannot cope with anybody who is neurodivergent. They don't have the capacity for it. They don't know how to deal with it or whatever. And that's a loaded message in itself, because it's saying, well, okay, what we thought we could do doesn't work anymore. Okay, because of the one of the things that was big on everything was medication, right? How we understood this is actually not how it is. It's also saying our school system is programmed in a way that doesn't cater for anybody who's out of that program, who doesn't fit into the program. So it's kind of come to the forefront, and what we've come to realize as well is that people who have these diagnoses, people who are feeling like they don't belong on the planet, or they're trying to fit in and they don't fit in anywhere, etc., are actually people are very high vibration. They've come in and they've come to be transformers here. They've come to show the way of a different way. Theirs are standing out of the crowd without them even wanting it to be like that. And then of course, some people, are treated badly for it, or persecuted for it, for want of a different word. Okay. And they're just treated differently. And you're thinking, and these are the most intelligent people you get academically. The way they think, they are the change makers about how things have been. I mean, who's to say Einstein wasn't, because of the way Einstein's thinking was, the way he lived, or Tesla, Nikola Tesla, who was to say He wasn't, you know. So
That's right. All these labels are very human. So there's this, it's
yeah.
how they say it's a spectrum of experience. And it is notable that we have almost, it's getting to the stage where it seems like there's more people who don't fit in than do fit in. And that's because we're shifting
Yeah.
as a species. And as you say, when you feel a bit different, you're coming in to bring about change in a
Yes.
positive way. And I don't want to take away from the experience of, people who have perhaps what we call the more severe symptoms of autism, for example, because that
Mm,
can be incredibly disabling. And, if you have trouble controlling your body, communicating, that's obviously a much more intense experience than
mm,
someone who just feels a little bit quirky. But if we see the whole human, there's space and have compassion, there's space for all of it, and for seeing the essence of that human, however
yes.
they're presenting
Mm,
externally.
mm.
Yeah. Mm.
So it is obviously, it's obviously been a challenge for many people I know. Parent who's having to bring up a child who is neurodivergent, and especially with not having the tools, because we didn't have the tools in society to know how to deal with this. Some of us ourselves have been neurodivergent and not realize and not understanding why we're not coping, or why is it our thinking is different from other people's. And so, it's been a time of real challenge for many people. I'm hoping that here we are in this time and space, at this point of the transformation, that all of this is now going to change. Part of what we've done here in the last two sessions, and even as we're going to do today, that it's going to change. Things are going to start to happen, that people are going to feel and realize that, hey, we have so much value in this. These are the transformers. These could be the sleeping dragons. This could be one of the versions of the sleeping dragons here on the planet, because the dragons have been wanting to help us. And if you think about the nature of a dragon, I mean, it's not your usual, is it? And I'm not talking about the way the dragon has been demonized. I'm talking about the dragon as the dragon is, because and a lot of the things about the dragons have been distorted, the information about them. They've been made to be monsters, really, or, all of that. They kind of, in a way, have lost their identity here on this planet. And yet they have been sleeping and waiting for us to awaken so that they can be here to support us. And they support us, as we've discovered over time, with so many things. They're not just mythical. They are, in many aspects, in many ways, they're as real as archangels and angels are, or like fairies are, or the trees are. They're real as that. So who's to say what people who are neurodivergent bring in, what energy they're bringing in on the planet?
Mm.
And so, we've done these light codes. We had an interesting one where the first one we did brought light codes in, and it felt like it was anchoring everybody and sort of helping them come back into the body and be in that time and space, and alignment. We understand that the body needs to align with what's going on in the psyche. Do I say that correctly, Kirsty?
Yeah, well, correct. What is correctly? But yeah,
It's
it's
important. I know it's important
yeah.
to give that message the way
Mm.
it's with good understanding. Sorry if I
But no,
didn't
no,
do
it's all
that
good.
well.
So yeah, dropping in more into the body. Sometimes there's this sense of pulling out of the body because it just doesn't feel, it feels too dense to be on Earth. But I
Yeah.
think, as you were saying, as we shift collectively, it becomes more easy for individuals who are feeling like it's just too much to drop in.
Mm,
So it's
mm,
providing the support to be here
yes.
fully.
Yeah.
Mm,
That it's
yeah.
safe, that it's okay. That you can to be grounded, as even if it doesn't feel like it's comfortable, but it can become comfortable in the way we respond to it, the way we think about it. And that being grounded is not necessarily a permanent state, but for here and now, because of everything that's going on, perhaps we do need to keep ourselves grounded, yet, and grounding really comes from balancing the chakras, the bottom chakras, and then because people that are like floating up there are more aligned with the upper chakras of the body, right, from your heart chakra upwards, right? But so when we are doing the grounding thing, we're saying, well, okay, we're here on earth, we need to be grounded. And so, we're sort of balancing, coming back into the body and grounding ourselves in it. And then last week, we had some interesting people turn up there. And so, we sort of anchored that in. And last week, it was almost like a reassurance of you're not alone. You're here, you've got everything you need. You've come with everything you need. Just now, all Kirsty and Rose are doing really is enlightening you or awakening you to that knowledge or to that realization by bringing in those codes. So come in, you're not alone. You've got a lot of help. So, yeah.
Yeah, starting to wake up to what's already there.
Yeah.
And so today I think we're going to probably expand more into that awakening and bring in some deeper inner child work.
Yes.
Because we come in and we know, when you hold that newborn baby, it's such magic because, they're so pure. They know what they're about.
Yeah.
And then we start to forget for most of us, that's part of our current human experience. And that means we get to go on the hero's journey, and then we go through challenges, and then we awaken and we remember. So that's part of our adventure at the moment. But we want to look at how we can peel back those layers of conditioning, of forgetting, and reconnect to that magic that's always been there.
So friends, if you are watching us and you want to say something, please feel free to share any thoughts in the comments. We're really glad and happy to have all of you on board listening and watching. Thank you again for all this time that, you've encouraged us to by watching, by making your comments. It made us feel like, we co-created, all of us co-created, because it was saying we felt guided. All of you responded, and that confirmed to us that what we were being guided with was your response was another confirmation that was the way to go, to take that pathway. And so that's what we've done. So Kirsty, we're going to start first with you, as we do. And I'll let you go with what we're starting with first. Are we doing, because last time we did the chant after the guided meditation that you led us through. And then after Kirsty does the chant and the guided meditation, or the other way around, I'll come in and with some light language. And today we've got a squad that has turned up. I was guided to do this, and there's a squad that has turned up, and I don't know, somebody out there is going to resonate with us. It's a very unusual thing that happened, and I'll explain when I get to my part, but Kirsty, please take it away.
Yeah. So when I was feeling into this session yesterday, I had this very strong kind of remembering, but in snippets, of a book I read when I was a child. And it was when I was quite a small child, but it's stuck with me. And so I was trying to remember what this book was, because I just had this image in my mind of this little girl bathing in light. And I went online and I was trying to remember the book. It took me a while to find it.
Yes.
And then I did find it. And so I just want to share a tiny bit about it because I think it's relevant. So the book is The Girl Who Washed in the Moonlight, which is actually a book by Margaret Mahy, who is a really beloved New Zealand author, but I believe she's famous enough to be known elsewhere.
Yeah.
But it's actually a very profound little story, and in the story, as often in children's stories, the darkness and oppression is symbolized by a witch, and it's a shame that it always has to be a witch, but that's the symbol is for something that is oppressive and dark. And the little girl is enslaved by this witch, and she just is despite being enslaved, she's just irrepressibly optimistic and keeps all her dreams of freedom alive, and she's happy, and she almost visibly glows. She's got so much light. And so the witch gets, harder and harder on her. Each night the girl would wash herself with a special soap her mother gave her, and use the water and cleanse herself and get her glow to be brighter. And so the witch took away her water, and then she washed herself with milk, and she took away the milk. And then eventually the girl started to get a little bit, down, feeling like, oh, and she started to take on a little bit of the darkness until she realized from the place she was imprisoned at night, there was some moonlight that came through. And so she bathed herself in the moonlight.
Yeah.
And in the morning, she still had this beautiful glow, and there was nothing this dark presence of the witch could do to stop that light. And I remembered this story so strongly from my childhood. And yeah, it's quite incredible. So I thought I'd just, tell that little story now. And then when we go into the meditation, perhaps that story will speak to you a little bit, and you can bathe yourself in light. And of course, it doesn't have to be moonlight. It can be moonlight, sunlight, divine light, inner light. Yeah, that's all the light.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you carry on. I'll
Yeah.
my comments for later.
Yeah. And so just a reminder, in case you want to visualize your Merkaba of light, it's like a three-dimensional star. You can feel into that in your light body. And before we get into a short meditation, I just thought we'd reconnect to these heart points. So as we've done in previous sessions, you can place a hand over this area. I'm going to place a thumb in this notch under the collarbone, and here and here. And then with the other hand, you can put a thumb on the thymus, which is like where you do some gorilla tapping. And then just reaching down to just below the breast line. These points don't need to be exact, but we're dropping in. Dropping into the body and the heart. Feeling safe and aligned. And you can hold these points for as long as you feel to. And while you're doing that, just feeling in to the breath expanding into the belly and the rib cage, the breath of life. And now consciously coming into awareness of your connection with our Earth Mother, Gaia Papatunuku. We are always supported and nourished. Just remembering. Sending down your roots, down through the chair or the floor, down into the earth, really connecting with this divine loving presence. Feeling as you release what you no longer need. Connecting deeper and deeper, right down to the glowing crystalline core of the beautiful being that is our earth. Drawing up this energy now. You are connected all the time, but just consciously bringing that up, all the way back up through the layers, into the base of the spine, like a spark of energy that feeds us in our mission here on Earth. glowing and growing, spreading up the spine and the central column of light, through the root chakra, the sacral, solar plexus, to the heart, feeling the beauty of your own heart, expanding, glowing, moving up through the throat, third eye, to the crown, and then maintaining your boundaries as a divine, sovereign being of the light, opening up to the wisdom of your higher self, connecting to divine creation, calling in beings of only the highest vibration that speak to you, angels, guides, benevolent ancestors, unicorns, dragons, divine avatars, Yeshua, the Magdalene. So much beauty and support available to us, here for us and of us, drawing it in now. Dropping back into the heart, and perhaps you'd like to imagine now this Merkaba of light expanding with every breath, building your vehicle of light, stronger, brighter, lighter. Feeling your own expansive nature. So beautiful, so free, so unique whilst being connected with all of it. And from this expansive place, dropping back into the heart, you've come from the divine. Maybe you like to visualize it as from above, and here you are in this body. So from this heart space, seeing yourself now as a child, really stepping into this vision of your inner child, yourself there, perhaps in a ball of light. You came in so pure, so true. And part of your journey here on earth was to experience the density of earth, the forgetting, so that in turn you could remember and assist others on their journey. But now seeing that little child, really connecting to the feeling of it. There's joy there, there's beauty. And then there's also creeping layers of conditioning. So create yourself a safe place, but from this safe place, feel into what it was that contributed to your forgetting, to the disconnection from your spark of truth. Remembering some of those experiences. Maybe it was related to your family, experiences at school, traumas, whether small or large. Feel into how you begin to become guarded, to protect yourself. the beliefs and ways of being you developed in order to survive this time. What did you have to do? How did you dim your light? Feel into this, not so you can be overwhelmed by it, but so that you can recognize that all of this was simply thought forms, belief patterns. It has helped to shape the reality that you've been through, that maybe you're still in, but it's not the truth. It's not the truth. Honor your experiences, the ways you suffered and grieved and built up layers of protection. Maybe you felt or believed that you were not visible, that you were not significant. Some level of you thought, perhaps I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, I don't belong. All of these beliefs were part of your journey, but they are not the truth. You can be aware of them and begin to step into something greater, more expansive. So I'm inviting you now to create a portal, perhaps a circle of light. It could be a waterfall that you step into. However you're visualizing this portal, step into it now and begin to bathe yourself in this cleansing light of truth, like the little girl from the story. There is always light available to you, even if it's just a spark. And you can have access to this and begin to amplify it. Feeling this waterfall of light all around you, washing away those layers of darkness, misunderstanding, disconnection, washing it all away. Even when these thoughts come back to us, we can be in the awareness they are not the truth. The light's washing over, infusing us with ever more light. Without us having to disconnect from the body, we're here on earth. We are ascending in the physical, bringing in more and more light. Feel it vibrating in your cells. And from within this portal of light, perhaps now you can begin, while still connecting to the inner child, to remember more and more what you came here for. What were those things that lit you up as a child? Maybe they seemed small, silly. Maybe they're just glimpses. They are the truth of who you are. What was it you loved? You loved to connect to other people's hearts. Did you love to speak to the trees, to speak to the animals? Were you connected to the fairies, the dragons, the unicorns? Did you connect to your inner knowing without question? Did you dream? Did you have the knowingness of your ability to fly, to connect telepathically? Whatever it is for you, connecting with that truth, it's right there. Your inner child knows. And in this time of expansion and awakening, this knowingness will grow. It will continue to grow. Go with it, knowing you are supported, you are loved, and it's safe now to open. Connecting to unconditional love. Inanna Rakma, Inanna Rakma. I am unconditional love. And it's time now to open. Ifita, Ifita, Ifita. The truth is here for us now. We are guided. We are love. We are the divine. We are the inner child. Bringing it all into the now. And perhaps now is a good time to move into our chant as we expand our light brighter, more and more. Vishemadnai, Vishemadnai, Vishemadnai,
Bishem Adonai,
Miyamene Mihael,
Miyamene Michael,
Umismole Gabriel,
Umismole Gabriel,
Umilefenai Uriel,
Umilefenai Uriel,
Umi Achrorai Raphael,
Umi Achrorai Raphael,
Ve'al Rashi Shekinah,
Ve'al Reshi Shekinah,
Ve'ba Levi Yeshua,
Veba Levi Yeshua,
Bishem Adonai,
Bishem Adonai,
Miyamene Michael,
Miyameni Michael,
Umismole Gabriel,
Umismole Gabriel,
Umilefenai Uriel,
Umilefenai Uriel,
Umi Achrorai Raphael,
Umi Achrorai Raphael,
Ve'al Rashi Shekinah,
Ve'al Roshi Shekinah,
Ve'ba Levi Yeshua,
Ve'ba Levi Yeshua,
Bishem Adonai,
Bishem Adonai,
Miyamene Michael,
V'yamene Michael.
Umismole Gabriel.
Umismole Gabriel.
Umilifenai Uriel.
Umilifenai Uriel.
Umiachrarai Raphael.
Umiachrorai Raphael.
Ve'arashi Shekinah.
Ve'oroshi Shekinah.
Veba Levi Yeshua.
Veba Levi Yeshua.
And just a reminder that it's all perfect. The divine is not separate from everyday life, from dogs barking. It's all part of the beauty. And I'm going to hand over to Rose in a moment, but I'm just going to, if you have your eyes open, one more piece of energetic guidance if you choose to take it. Just going to hold the temples. I'm going to hold them with my thumbs. You can follow me if you wish. And then with my middle and pointer fingers, I'm going to bring them to this part just above the eyebrows, the sort of lower third eye area. Just feeling the peace, the calm, and the sense of dropping into this now time, collapsing timelines, if you will, but bringing in all of the wisdom, the lessons of the challenges we've experienced so far in life. Those experiences that have been here to awaken us in some way. And now we're drawing on that wisdom, we're transmuting it and bringing more and more light to share with others. Dropping into this now time, ready to expand further, awaken our gifts further, share them more with others. It is time. It is time. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Kirsty, so much for that. Yeah, just very interesting. Wow. So friends, as we are here in this time and space, I was going to go into the message that I had and do some light language, but my guides have reminded me to bring this in, and I'm going to explain a little bit about it, and then I'm going to do this, which I think I'm supposed to call it a chant. So earlier this week, I was watching a meditation, or I did a meditation with Diana Cooper. She put out a meditation where it's time to ask for help from the universe, is what she entitled it. Something she said through the meditation got me, and that was, imagine the angels singing your name. Imagine the angels singing your name. And so all of our names have a vibration. It has a vibration within itself. And, and then you went into that meditation, and the end of the meditation was, let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. And so I bring that to you, but I bring this, let there be peace on earth, as a thing that you may take away with you and think about how we can start saying, chanting, let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. Because many of us are protected, shrouded from whatever's going on in war-torn zones on the planet, etc. Because that is how we've been guided to live, and because that's how we can hold space. But we can forget to say the simple things like, let there be peace on earth. Now, coming back to the name, hearing the angels singing your name. I'm inviting you today to think about your name, to explore the name you have been given at the time of your birth, not necessarily what people call you for a nickname, how they've shortened your name, or anything like that. And just come back to that identity, because that is who you are authentically. A lot of people in Eastern cultures or in First Nations people, our names are given according to the time of birth, the date of birth, the day of birth. It is given according to the astrology of your birth. And it is given for a purpose, and often it is the priest that will give that name, and often the priests in these communities are understanding astrology. Okay. And so that is how the name comes through. You might get it in my community. I would have been given 4 names or an alphabet, and my parents got to choose. Alphabet is becoming more popular as time is going by, but when I was born, it was names, and I only had the one. Now, this is not about me. It is about me, but it's not about me. But I have been reminded that I needed to chant my name. Now, I'll tell you why. Ananda. It is not just my name. It is a word. It is a Sanskrit word, and it means divine bliss, divine joy, divine happiness. So I've just been sitting here listening to Kirsty with that meditation, going through it with her, and then it's just dropped into me that I need to do this chant. Now I'm going to do it for a few minutes, and we will come to that message that was coming through yesterday. So it's a small one, and I don't know what's going to come out, but here we are. Taking a moment to breathe. Ananda, 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 Anandam, Ananda, 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 joyful bliss, blissful joy, Ananda, 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 Ananda. Yaramahom manena, Yakaramakutu tomara Ananda, 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 Ananda. Yamahamanani Kuturumahananda, Ananda, Ananda. Ikaramatu to Faranahai to the Mahai. Kirana to Marahai Makutun Mahananda to Kurunishkarani to Mamagaya. Or can make it to look back to Moramata Karamatata. Yenamakutu to Ramahai and Chiguru to Jitsu make it a dam. Thank you, friends. Thank you, Karamati. And as we're coming back from Ananda, as we're staying in the space of divine bliss, extreme joy, I am to bring you the Knights of the Round Table today. Now, these knights are not what you know and I know as knights. I will show them to you. I will be sharing my screen, friends, and I'm going to show them in one picture. I was guided to go to the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle card deck. This one is by Collette Baron-Reid. And I just thought it was just the dragon card and Merlin that was going to come through. And then as I started to go through the cards, there were just cards coming out. And interestingly enough, I didn't plan it like that. 8 cards came out, and I just believe that these are the nights that are going to be working with all of you as we leave you today. They have come in, and it's really interesting. We talked about the name now, your name. Please go and look at your name and start to sing your name, the true name that you were given at birth. If it is hard if it is something that doesn't flow and resonate with the voice, look into the meaning and find the meaning that resonates the most, the word that resonates the most in the meaning of your name and who you are, to come into who you truly and authentically are in this time and space, because that is the message of it all. That is the message of it all. We're coming into our authentic selves. We are no longer being shy of who we are. We're no longer hiding behind anything. We're no longer hiding behind medication. Now, all in modesty, all with wisdom, and all with understanding or understanding of how we're going to progress. Tuning in, we've brought in the light codes to give you the wisdom and the direction. You have had the assurance of who works with you. The golden light dragon works with you. Yes, last time we were in the session. The golden light dragon works with you. The Mercury dragons work with you. One stands before one, and the squad of Mercury dragons stand behind. Whatever it is that you are calling in, one of them, 2 of them, a squad of them. So you've got that. You've been enamored with that. All right. I say enamored. I do not say armored. I say enamored. But both is equally good. So as we have done that, we're now going to show you who wants to continue to work with you. And here they are, just sharing the screen for the moment. Prince, if you can see that, Kirsty, if you can confirm as soon as you see this.
Yep, now it's up.
I'm sorry if this is a little bit, so I'm just going to stop sharing 1 minute, 1 second. I just need to put musician's mode on in case we start to sing and then it comes out the wrong way. Here we are. I was taking this picture. I couldn't sleep last night, and I was taking this picture after midnight, so I'm afraid the lighting is not the best, but I think we can see who they are. We can see that we've got the Merlin. We've got the High Priestess. We've got the Lady of the Lake. We've got the Dragon. We've got the King, the Queen, the Bard, and the Raven. Now, we know this is not Lancelot. This is not Guinevere. This is not... There is, the Queen is here, so that would be Guinevere. The King is here, so that would be Arthur. And of course, we've got the Merlin. Okay, so we've got them. If anybody there is representative of one of the knights that you know of, then that's okay. But this is the squad that is offering themselves to work with all of us from here on, from this day forth. Here is more that you have. It's interesting that the crew from Avalon are here. Right? Avalon is the ancient kingdom of King Arthur. All right. Now, look into this more if that is what you need to do. But I am going to read like a few lines. And we're actually going to start with, I feel we need to start with the King, not with the Merlin. Because the Merlin is the message that we're going to leave you with. The King. The King appears to represent the powers of justice, authority, and the law, the male sexual energy. When the King appears on your path, it's time to put your house in order, complete any unresolved legal issues, and deal with issues related to fairness. The King always lets you know that something significant is yours to experience and learn from. Okay? So, you are also reminded that the King is regarded as in highest esteem, and within his natural authority, he acts with intelligence and strategy. Think and analyze, and the King will bestow great gifts on you. So it's very matter of fact, right? When we start to talk legal, very third dimension, but we are multidimensional, and we are still living in the third dimension. So if anybody out there is experiencing something like this. But also remember that it's about being analytic and having a strategy of moving forward. The Queen represents fertility, beauty, female sexual energy, earthly pleasures, and friendships among women. The Queen summons you to bestow her gifts upon you so that you can revel in the beauty of life. The Queen appears to remind you of the importance of self-esteem, self-worth, and holding your head high. Now is the time to set boundaries with others with a gentle authority, yet try not to be isolated from them in the process. The Queen knows how to delegate authority when she needs to. Summon your inner Queen and ask for what you need. The Queen also asks whether you are having fun. Maybe you need to read a good book with a cup of cocoa. Go to a spa to make plans with your pals. Look after yourself and remember to nurture your friendships. Right? The Queen knows that she needs allies in the world to sustain her, and in return she shares her wealth with you. All right, I'm not reading all of it, friends, but just important ones. I feel that we will come to the next one is the Bard. The Bard was the first card that was really calling to me. This card represents, and this is the Bard, okay? Almost like the Joker, a jester in the court of the royal family. Okay, but let's read what the Bard means in this instant. This card represents music, storytelling, and the passing of truths, myths, and legends from generation to generation through the spoken word or song. In ancient Avalon, the traditions and stories of the people were gathered on leaves that served as letters in a living alphabet and were tended in vast, long houses. Here, druids and priestesses came to read and weave the stories of magic and the sacred relationship to the god, goddesses, and the mystery. Those schooled in the art of music and storytelling were given the task of informing their world and keeping the stories of their culture alive. They were given the name of Bard. When the Bard appears, you've asked to seek answers in your personal history. Go back into your own story and find the threads of the patterns in your reality and trace their strength to the present. Perhaps you'll be surprised by how much your past or that of your ancestors still weaves its influences on you today. Friends, we talked about your name. We talked about the inner child today. I think the Bard is giving us a real message here. All right, looking at them. The raven is who we're going to go to next. When the raven appears, it's a sign of magic, where coincidence and divine synchronicity bring surprising elements together. The raven reminds you that you are on the path to wholeness. The magic of Avalon appears and all things become possible. Ask the raven to help you to be aware of synchronicity in your life and to see how the goddesses works anonymously on your path. If you feel hopeless or lost, you may need reminding that this kind of magic occurs in your life daily. So here's our raven, okay? Even if you can't see it, trust to bring joy, understanding, and fulfillment to your life, no matter what the present circumstances appear to be. Remember, the raven says, believe in magic, and you cannot help but see it. Magic lives within the belief itself. Expect the unexpected and prepare to be amazed. All right, Lady of the Lake is the next one. There she is, the Lady of the Lake. The Lady of the Lake. The Lady of the Lake represents the highest order of respect for yourself and the manner in which you operate within the world around you. She is the harsher element of truth, where denial is swept away by a tidal wave of events. In the ancient legend of Avalon, the Lady of the Lake presented Merlin with the Sword of Truth, which had been claimed by Arthur, who became High King of Britain. The magic that wielded this metal was fired by the will of the goddesses. Consequently, When the Lady of the Lake appears, she demands nothing short of total truth and integrity, and she asks you to be mindful of all the signs, signals, and omens that present themselves to you. This is not the time to second guess. If a signal appears, be assured that a challenge has been presented. Moving forward without acknowledgement of the challenge will result in unnecessary difficulties. If the signal is to move, she pushes you to act. Do so, for a victory is imminent. Right, and then we come to the last three. We will start first with the High Priestess. Here she is. Friends, we start with the High Priestess for the last three cards because this is where you are coming into. All of us are coming into our High Priestessness, our High Priesthood. The dragon we are coming into the true selves that we are, the authentic self that we are. We are coming into the empowered beings that we are. Hey, even the duck agrees. Can you hear it? The High Priestess. Intuition. Prescient sight. I don't know what prescient sight is. Prescient. Prescient. Sight. Higher knowledge. Yeah. Kirsty, you can explain that when we've done this. Yeah, Margaret. Receptivity. The ability to work with subtle energies of spirit and the psychic power of the feminine. These are the aspects of High Priestess of Avalon. When the High Priestess appears before you, she asks you to trust your intuition and to throw the net of your awareness out into the world around you, pulling in truths that may defy your intellect, rational mind, or what others wish to falsely or superficially, getting ahead of myself. I'll read it. Pulling truths that may defy your intellect, rational mind, or what others wish to falsely or superficially portray. Go beyond the ordinary, past the chaos of modern life, and trust your inner vision to guide you on the path. Pay attention to your dreams and keep track of your intuitive hunches. For when the High Priestess appears, she asks you to look for the thread of truth in these places. Kirsty, do you want to explain that before I go on to the next two cards?
Prescience is basically just prophesying, seeing the future, predicting the future. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. And then we come to the dragon. The dragon comes to offer you its power and strength to protect and fortify you on this leg of your journey. The dragon symbolizes true power and reminds you that this infinite source is not found within your personality or ego. True power resides deep within your soul. So call on the dragon's spiritual power and strength, and you will find a vast resource to strengthen your resolve through morality, integrity, and purpose. If you're struggling with these issues, the dragon will restore them to you. Remember that the power of the spiritual world can never be broken, and true strength is found within, not in the outside world. Never mistake a gentle man for a weak one. Watch for a signal. The dragon always makes the next step clear, and it gives you the power to take it. Up until this point, friends, we've been talking about all of those that have been, I'm feeling very emotional now, all of those that have been here to help you, to support you. This card that I'm about to bring out is you. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to hold it up to the screen. And I will put a thumbnail, I'll create a thumbnail where we show this card, because I'm really wanting us to see. The Merlin card. Okomari tata toronachai na tufaranachai na tufaranachai. That is the Merlin card. And you will see Merlin has got a blue dragon with him. This is you, Ahiko Tahai. This is you, faithful, true one. This is you. If you were confused about who you are, right, I'll read it and I'll try to read it with holding it up. Otherwise, I'll bring it back in a Mahatiana. I'll bring all of them back anyway in a minute. Yeah. The Merlin is the messenger of initiation and alchemy and is both the magician and the high priest. He is the masculine keeper of the magic and has the ability to turn iron ore into gold. The Merlin says, you have all you need to move forward. Rejoice that all the elements you require for success are, indeed, present. You are given notice that when it comes to your life and its purpose, the magical aspect of the Merlin can be summoned to help you find an answer that is within you. When the Merlin appears, he tells you that justice will be done in all matters of your query, but not by any forceful action. Instead, ask yourself what you need to do to bring balance into your life. Are you working too hard? Perhaps overthinking things? Do you have enough downtime? The answers you seek are not found in obvious places. It's time to go within, through meditation and prayer, and ask the spirit of the world, of the Merlin's magic, and ask the spirit world of the Merlin's magic. I'll read that again. And ask the spirit world of Merlin's magical influence to send you signs and omens to help you chart your course. The Merlin says that he will lend you his wisdom and magic on this leg of your journey until you can claim it as your own. His message is always be in the world, but not of it, and wear it only as a loose cloak about your shoulders. You will never have to look outside yourself for answers when the Merlin appears. Remember, all signs and omens sent by the Merlin are but reflections of that which is within you already. Yes, I know it was a little bit longer. I can't help it though. If you were to get these messages, you needed to hear it, friends. I'm going to bring them up again. And here they are. Kirsty, is there anything you want to share before we close out with the light language?
We'll probably recap in the days to come, but it's of significance that I'm currently reading my children a story about the early life of Merlin. Yeah. And I just, before you close, I just want to encourage people. During the meditation, we talked about, connecting in with what happened to you as a child, the beliefs you built up, the conditioning, and then to also connect into what that deeper truth was. And so if you feel called to, perhaps it would be an opportunity to go away and do some journaling, go deeper with that, and just feel into that clarity around these things happened. I built up these beliefs. They're not the truth. And then to feel more into those divine sparks of the truth of who you are, and to bring this through into your everyday life. So you can notice when those beliefs are coming up. And you can notice when those sparks of inspiration are coming up, and get clear, not allow those layers of conditioning to override that inspiration. Yeah.
Thank you, Kirsty. Thank you, Friends, as we come to the closure of this session with all of you, I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground. Raise your arms if you need to release. Raise them above you. Just shake it all out. There was a lot of stuff going on here. Move yourself. Get up if you need to before you sit down and keep your feet firmly planted on the ground. Or when we go through this closing light language message, you may want to just stand up through that. Honor to you for coming, for taking the time to come and to look after you. Honor to you, Rabeka Toto Foranachai. No Machanatino Machatina Machatana Machaina to Hona no. Alina na makino Ina guru na makino. Beloved soul, blessed one, thank you. You are worthy, you are wonderful. You are wonderful. You are my babies. Sezamagaya rokorogenate. Kiloko chamacham. Ikana fete arosalem. I am no mai. Can you see yourself? Ikoto fakatiano. Ikala makito koro koto totoa. Yama kutono corona timakateta to forana kai. Orakata mahaina tuto corona chikatanya mahai. Kiano angiana giana. Yana gena makuturo rira mati corona tita paranati corona chitamachi tutoranam. Gena. Genama. Halena iluna nakitamai. Namasame kromasamana masamana. Not too much mahisamata namasama mokumasamesa. Azamakin samasama mahin function to Fanakiwa. Asmakasamasma terra. It's my coronda to my head to Tataya. In Masunama, my smith, my Scotsmaha, the Merlin. Urkatita, Tata. Here, Natamaha, Samakotama. Thank you, friends. I'm just going to stop sharing the screen, and as you come through this, okay, Matikanona. We had the Merlin there. We also had Virnaka. Now, I know I'm saying it wrong, but for whatever reason, it's my phonicking with the my tones as a child. Hearing the adults around me, somehow just starts to do the n sound as an n sound, n instead of n. Okay, sotagramatse. Okay, how's everybody? Hopefully you're good. Hopefully that was okay for you, everyone.
Thank you.
Sorry, we have gone a little bit longer, but it is our last session where we do the free live event. And hey, this is timeless. Come back to this anytime. Last time I put the recording on as well, in case people were missing the live session, because some people were struggling to see where it was live on YouTube. I will do that again. If people are saying, hey, I can't see it, or can you show me where it is, I'll put the recording on. I'm sort of blown away with the guides that we got today. So we will let you get into your space and go out and do your grounding or whatever you need to. But we will have a reflective chat, and in that we will tell you about an event we were planning that's coming up. That if you felt that you wanted to work some more with us, then this is going to be an event you register for, and it is a paid event. And we want to reassure you that the paid event it's a paid event, but it's going to be quite what we think is affordable. It's not going to be heaps of money. So, that's what's going to come up. Just get in touch with me anyway. Even after that, if you feel like, hey, I really, really cannot even afford that small amount of money, we will work something out. Okay, we will help you out to join it. So don't worry about it too much. But we've been guided now that we need to do a paid event. So that is why we're doing that. Remember, I just need to say that it's that exchange that we have to do now. And so here we are. That's coming in the future. When we do reflective chat, we'll tell you where to go and register for it. Anything else, Kirsty, before we go?
No, just thank you to you. Thank you to everybody listening now and in the future for co-creating this with us. Much honor, much gratitude, much love, and yes, really, if you can, try and get your feet physically on the earth to integrate. If you can't, take a shower, just do something.
Yeah, it'll just cleanse out the body. So friends, thank you so much for joining us. And Kirsty, thank you. Thank you. The gratitude, the appreciation for you is immeasurable. Honor, blessing to you for all of your contribution. And as Kirsty has said, thank you to all of you. Thank you so much. From the bottom of our hearts, we all co-created this. This was a coming together of co-creation. Yerama, all of yours and all of ours. We'll catch you next time here. Namaste.